I'm Tammy Dana-Bashian, Mayor of Rowlett.
And I'm Brian Funderburk, City Manager.
Welcome to the July 2020 edition of Spotlight on Rowlett. COVID-19 is spreading at an unacceptable rate. The state's positivity rate has recently tripled from 4.5% to over 13%. Healthcare professionals are watching this carefully as hospitalizations are up over 50% in our area since June 1st. In order to ensure hospital bed availability for COVID-19 patients, Governor Abbott recently suspended elective surgeries at hospitals in 4 Texas counties, including Dallas County. As the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise in North Texas, the ages of those contracting the virus continues to drop. Over half of the positive cases in Dallas County since June 1st are between the ages of 18 and 39 years old. And even more alarming, in the month of June, half of the hospitalizations and a third of the patients in the intensive care units have been under the age of 50. We all want to get back to normal, but this is the new normal that we must coexist with right now. Please stay home when possible and stay vigilant when you must go out. Wear a face covering, maintain that 6 feet of social distancing from others not in your group, avoid unnecessary crowds, and most importantly, wash your hands often. These measures are critical not only to slow the spread and protect people's lives, but it also helps protect our economy from further closures. Recently, Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins issued a supplemental order requiring face coverings in all Dallas County businesses. Believing that this order places an undue enforcement burden on businesses, the Rowlett City Council was unanimous in their decision at a special City Council meeting not to extend this order to the entirety of Rowlett. However, the city strongly supports the need for individuals to wear face coverings, especially in situations where social distancing is not possible.
Testing for COVID-19 is becoming more available at sites throughout the Metroplex. In Rowlett, the Walmart drive-through test site is available by appointment Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Those interested in being tested need to visit doineedacovid19test.com to verify eligibility and make an appointment. As more testing sites come online across the state, the Texas Division of Emergency Management is coordinating with local officials, public health officials, and emergency management offices in cities across the state to identify and rapidly expand COVID-19 testing in underserved and minority communities that have been disproportionately impacted by the virus. Visit the link shown on the screen to find the test collection location nearest to you. Besides readily available testing, another important part of stopping the spread is contact tracing. Contact tracing is a method used to find and follow up with people who have been in close contact with someone who tested positive. People who are around the case potentially exposed to COVID-19 are called contacts. By tracing the contacts of the COVID-19 cases, getting them into quarantine, and when necessary, testing them for the infection, we can slow the spread.
Due to the uncertainty of the COVID-19 situation in Texas and the difficulty managing large crowds that would come into our community due to so many July 4th events canceled in the area, the city made the decision to cancel the Fireworks on Main July 4th celebration for 2020. While disappointing to many, this decision was made in the public health and safety interest of the Fireworks on Main celebration participants, volunteers, partners, and guests. Additionally, the governor recently issued an order not allowing most outdoor gatherings in excess of 100 people, except as specifically approved by the mayor or county judge. Fingers crossed, we plan to present a fireworks show at one of our city events later this year.
Now that all the City of Rowlett facilities have reopened, we continue to require all visitors to wear a face covering for health and safety while inside city facilities. If you do not have a face covering, one will be provided. Following guidance and best practices from the CDC, the city continues to perform enhanced cleanings of high-touch areas and has safety measures in place, such as sneeze guards at countertops, hand sanitizer stations, and floor decals to assist staff and customers with proper social distancing. Because COVID-19 is on the rise in the Metroplex, we encourage you to continue to conduct business online, by phone, and email as much as possible. Remember, this is a fluid situation. Information is updated often. Visit Rowlett.com for in-depth information about the operations and restrictions of specific departments.
The city's Facebook page will continue to alert the public about new cases on a daily basis, but we do restrict information to age range and gender as it becomes available to us. And please visit Rowlett.com/COVID-19 for more information, helpful links, testing sites, and the measures instituted to help protect our community. Well, Brian, we're still talking about COVID-19. It's not a surprise. You know, it's here to stay for quite a while. And this is the new normal. We need to learn how to live with this right now. But it's an ever-changing, evolving situation.
You know, Mayor, it is, and you know, the comment earlier about it, such a fluid situation is absolutely appropriate. This is changing so fast. For a long time, the number of cases had even stabilized for a while, and then even when it was increasing, it was more at a steady rate. It has turned exponential, and this is a real cause for alarm right now.
You know, the healthcare professionals, they're watching this very closely because the number one thing is we need to maintain our healthcare system. In order to be able to care for the sick and to be able to prevent unnecessary deaths, we cannot overtake our healthcare system. So that's really what's happening right now is, you know, the governor is pulling back because the professionals, the healthcare professionals are sending up warning signs that we've got to contain this or we're going to be in trouble within 30 days.
Well, and Mayor, as you can see, I mean, we all can do our part, and part of that is to take care of ourselves, to wear face coverings, to wash our hands, to practice social distancing, and I know we're tired. I mean, you know, the real bottom line is this is a marathon, and unfortunately this disease is not going to take a break, and we need to do everything we can to protect our neighbors and our family. COVID-19 has the potential to negatively impact the city's financial position through unbudgeted expenditures required to ensure public health and safety and through disaster impact on city revenues. The city has mobilized planning and response efforts to the disaster and immediately instituted expense tracking procedures should these costs be recoverable through FEMA or other future grant opportunities. Additionally, the finance staff has made assumptions to predict our best and worst case scenarios of revenue loss during this economic downturn, and has further collaborated with the city manager's office and departmental directors to vet and prioritize options and develop strategies to mitigate the impact. At the April 13th council meeting, I presented assumptions of revenue loss as well as options and recommendations for mitigation and obtained council's consensus on the prioritization of options provided. For the general fund, the worst case scenario of $1.9 million was used to scale back expenses in order to offset the revenue reduction. Most property taxes were paid prior to COVID-19, and therefore that impact is relatively minor. Sales taxes are expected to have the greatest impact, primarily because people are only buying essential items. Building permits and associated expenses are expected to take a hit as development slows. Other expected general fund shortfalls include loss of court revenue, recreation fees, and smaller franchise fee payments. The utility fund could also see an impact of approximately $1.5 to $3 million from revenue losses in fiscal year 2020. The City of Rowlett budget process is a year-round endeavor from the beginning of the fiscal year on October 1 to the end on September 30th. The first step in the budget planning process is when the budget officer and departments are given preliminary direction from the city manager regarding appropriate budget guidelines and strategy. Throughout May and June, the city staff has been reviewing proposals from all of our departments. Then, in June and July, City Council and staff meet for priority-based budgeting strategy sessions and workshops. In late July, the certified tax roll is released from the Dallas Central Appraisal District and the Rockwall County Appraisal District. This information provides the city an estimate of the property tax revenues that could be expected in the coming year. Next up is the crafting of a proposed budget, which is then submitted to the City Council on August 4th. Then, later in August, the City Council will discuss the budget at additional council work sessions. Public comments on the proposed budget and public hearings on the tax rate will be held on August 18th and September 14th at regular council meetings. City Council will then adopt the tax rate and budget ordinances on September 15th as we begin our new fiscal year 2021 on October 1. You know, Mayor, as this whole COVID-19 situation has evolved, we are now really beginning to see not only the impact this year, but the impact in next year's budget as well.
You know, we've had the sales tax impact this year, and we've had other impacts on permits and utility fund. We may see this in some other areas next year also. We may see this in some property tax delinquencies. We may see this in reduced property tax valuations. So, you know, we're really in a difficult situation, not only with our budget shortfalls this year, but trying to figure out how this impacts us next year and beyond.
Well, Mayor, and you know, obviously the budget process will be a very tough one this year as we make some very hard decisions. You know, we're very fortunate because of the CARES Act to be able to get reimbursement for direct expenses related to COVID-19, but it certainly is not going to help the revenue situation, which is going to have an impact on our citizens.
Please stay tuned. You know, we're going to have lots of public discussions about this, and this impacts our entire community. Many citizens have been reaching out with concern for our community and to obtain an understanding on how we ensure all members of our diverse community feel safe and supported by law enforcement officials. As a nation, we are trying to rectify the injustices that led to the tragic deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tatiana Jefferson, and many others. I am so proud of the way our citizens chose to stand up and let their voices be heard at the peaceful Black Lives Matter protest, as well as the community prayer vigil this past month. The Rowlett Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission exists to proactively engage Rowlett's diverse population in deliberate and collaborative effort to foster mutual respect, integrity, and fairness in our community. To keep the racial equity and social justice discussion going, the Rowlett Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission recently held a virtual community forum via Facebook Live to discuss questions, concerns, and feedback regarding racial inequality in our community. The virtual forum was moderated by the Commission's Vice Chair, Diana Moore. On the panel to answer questions and offer feedback were Commission Chairman Robert McCarrier, members Denise Young and Alina Shelbia, Director of Community Development Manol Muladad, City Manager Brian Funderburk, Police Chief Michael Godfrey, and myself. The Rowlett Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission has also created a Facebook group and page to educate, incorporate, improve, and help raise awareness of diversity opportunities within the City of Rowlett. It serves as a safe platform where the citizens of Rowlett may provide feedback, exchange ideas, thoughts, and comments regarding how to better diversify our city's government, activities, and events. Join the group and like the page today and be a part of the conversation. So I thought, you know, Brian, I thought the forum was a great opportunity for community discussion about some of the events that are going on. You know, this community has supported our police force so greatly over the years, and rightly so. But, you know, this is an important discussion that's happening across our nation and across our state and in our community, and it's a discussion that we need to have.
Mayor, I absolutely agree, and I was really proud to see that the Rowlett Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission brought this forward in the forum that they did. You know, with COVID, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to have everybody meet together, but to do this in that kind of a forum so we could have this conversation and in a Facebook Live event where people could ask questions, what a wonderful way to have that conversation.
And they'll be doing more. And I hope that everybody will go to their group and their page, because there's a lot of good discussion happening right now.
Share your expertise, experience, and insight as a member of a city board or commission. While the time commitment is minimal, the opportunity to make a difference in Rowlett community is significant. Citizens are encouraged to participate in their municipal government through service on various city boards and commissions. These volunteer boards are composed of citizens who are appointed by the City Council. Most positions are appointed for terms ranging from 1 to 2 years. The City Council makes their annual appointments at the end of September for terms to begin on October the 1st. Applications are currently being accepted and are due by August 14th for consideration for upcoming appointments. For more information and applications, please visit Rowlett.com. You know, Mayor, we are so very fortunate in Rowlett to have so many people willing to volunteer and give of their time in our community. You know, every year we kind of track the amount of hours, and it's worth $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year, almost 10 full-time employees every year.
And these boards and commissions, they're doing great work. You know, it's important. You're in an advisory role to City Council on policy and other decisions, and we value the input so much from these boards and commissions. So we hope that you will consider, if you've been thinking about how to help your city, this is a great way to do it. It's not too late. You can still complete the 2020 census today. Your response matters. The results of this once-a-decade survey will determine congressional representation, inform hundreds of billions in federal funding every year, and provide data that will impact Rowlett for the next decade. Lawmakers, business owners, and many others will use the 2020 census data to make critical decisions. The results will show where communities need new schools, new clinics, new roads, and more services for families, older adults, and children. It takes just a few moments to complete. You can respond online, by phone, or by mail. Please visit 2020census.gov. We're on the home stretch for the census. I know there's been a lot of distractions this year, but please, public, we need everybody to complete their census.
You know, Mayor, that's a good point. We're down to the home stretch, as you said. What's at stake literally is billions of dollars, not just in Rowlett, but our entire county, our state. This is so important, and we need people to complete those applications.
In closing, please continue to take precautions to keep yourself, your family members, and our community's most vulnerable safe as we all work together to fight the spread of this pandemic. Wear a face covering when you leave home. Observe physical distancing of at least 6 feet. And most importantly, wash your hands often. See you next time on Spotlight on Rowlett. Do you know someone doing something positive or a story that gives you the warm fuzzies? Please let us know so we can cover it in our Friday at 5 p.m. newsletter. Let's share all the good things. Email Denise at dperrin@rowlett.com.